Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're gonna talk about some Guilty Gear Strive. As you guys know, the beta is going on right now, and me and Killy have had our chance to try it out, test out the lobby system, the delay-based netcode that's gonna be canceled later, and the actual gameplay. I actually got my chance to play it now. I guess Killy, it's good for you too, because now you got your chance to play without waiting in line for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, damn, we got a lot to say though, right? There's a lot to
Oh,
say. The
there's a
memes.
lot.
Man, okay, so we better start off with the lobby system first, Killer. We need to get that out of the way because that's like the most talked about thing right now. There is like a brand new lobby system, and you guys trolled me, by the way. For some reason, I didn't know about this, and everyone else did, and I was like, "When do you see the lobby system, Vesper?" And you guys didn't spoil it for me until I finally saw it with my own eyes, and I was shocked and confused. Like, what did you think about it when you first saw it?
Well, I saw it from the tweet
Mm-hmm.
that Arxis made. It was like made around April 1st. So I was convinced it was an April Fool's joke,
Right.
right? Like, and then on the day the beta not necessarily went live, but like when the beta codes were sent
Yeah.
and you could not download, like for some odd reason on the EU side they didn't like turn the servers off. So the EU players actually were able to download the beta client and actually play for like 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before Arxis found out, right?
Yeah.
And so it was at that time that we actually saw the lobby. And it was the same as the tweet. And I'm like, no way, I thought this was an April Fool's joke. They were actually serious.
It was posted on April Fools in Japan, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, godlike timing, man. Oh,
And I'm just
God.
like, oh, are you serious? It's actually real.
Okay, so I guess while we're talking this, I'm showing the footage of it so the people watching this video understand what we're talking about. But it's like this weird Hubble hotel.
It's half a hotel. It's literally like half a hotel.
That's what everyone compares it to. This mobile game, basically, and it's nothing related to Guilty Gear at all. That's the thing. There's nothing related to it. It's just this weird mobile game looking thing, and the way it works. Oh man, I don't even know where to start killing with this. Like, I don't know where
Okay,
to
so
start.
it's like you have to connect to the server,
Right,
right? And then you have to connect to like the lobby system or whatever, right?
hmm
And then you have to pick a region. So you got to connect to that region,
yeah,
right? And then you have to pick a floor based on your rank, and then
right,
you connect to that. And then after you get into the floor, you have to customize your character and all that stuff, right?
right.
But then you have to pull out your weapon, and then you have to run into someone who also has their weapon pulled out in
Yes,
order to connect
yes,
and establish a match. So
right.
you're like jumping through all these hoops
Yes,
just to play a match, and it's just like, whoa, what is this?
I know, I know. Okay, let's just start with the hoop part. Okay, that's the most important part. We should start off. So, like most traditional fighting games, if you want to play a ranked match, you want to play a match, you go in, you start up the game, and you say ranked match, searching for match, and you can sit in training mode or whatever. But like Kelly said, you gotta connect online, and you gotta select the region, and you gotta select the floor, and then even when you select the floor, it might not necessarily be the same as other people. So let's say you and me are both in US West on the
Yeah,
third floor. It doesn't
yeah.
necessarily mean we're both on the same third floor. There's
So
multiple third floors.
so it's load balancing in
Right.
networking terms. It's like it's load balancing between multiple servers or multiple rooms
Right.
for floor 3, for
Right.
example. And so one person could be in one instance of floor 3, and then your friend could be in another instance of floor 3, and you'll
Right.
never see each other.
Right.
So it's extremely cumbersome to
Yes.
core to play with a friend in this system, in this lobby system.
I
On top of that, they tried to do like skill based.
Oh, skill
Uh,
based matchmaking, the cancer of video games. I know.
so uh, you're forced to do and this is really annoying. Like when you enter, you create your thing. They make you play against the CPU
Yeah.
to get used to the system, right, or the
Right.
game. And then based on how you do versus the CPU, you get matched to one of these floors.
Yeah.
And the floors are supposed to be like a ranking system. So the higher you go up, the better the players are, essentially.
Yeah.
And you cannot challenge a floor that is lower than your ranking. But
Yes.
people on the lower floors can challenge a higher ranked floor. So
Yeah.
it's a way to kind of help new players so they don't get preyed upon by veteran players.
Right. Right.
No little safe space here.
Yeah, that's what skill based matchmaking is. In a non-ranked setting, that's what it is.
Yeah,
But so
but it's like super intrusive because you play a couple matches and then it'll say rating update or whatever like that, and you might fall down the floor or you might go up the floor,
or you might
and,
stay on the
and
same floor.
yeah, and then it kicks you out
Yeah.
of the lobby, and then you have to re-enter the lobby again afterwards. And so if
Yeah.
you're playing with a friend, it's very intrusive when this
Yeah.
happens.
Right.
And then when you hit the top floor is floor 10. So I got to floor 10,
Hmm.
and you still have ranking up there, rating updates happening. And it's like, what's the point? What's the point? I'm
You
already
might
at
rank down. I don't
I
know.
didn't rank down.
Yeah, it's weird, man. And then okay, so that's the floor system is already very strange. And then on top of that, when you're actually on the floor, now we talked about this before, in order to play somebody, you have to take out your weapon and you have to stand near in the vicinity of somebody else with a weapon. Now you can already see how this is a problem because if there's 6 people standing in the same spot, you can't really choose who you're gonna play, right? It just chooses, it's just random. And you can also match up with someone. You can, if your weapon's not out and their weapon's not out, you can challenge them that way too. But you still gotta stand in their vicinity. And once again, if they're piled up on each other, you can't really choose who is who. And
On top of that, the avatars, it's like they desync. So you
yeah,
got
they
people like walking, flying across the screen, walking on thin air, invisible escalators. They're just all over the place.
yeah,
And you're
and
like, "Yo, I'm in this area," and he's like, "Where are you?" And you see this guy flying around. And you're like, "What's going on?" It's like this massive desync that happens.
yeah, because people are trying to stream snipe me and they see me standing in one spot, but I'm not there on their screen, right? Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
very weird.
so like once the room hits about
Man.
23 to 26 players in that room,
Hmm.
it's like the connection, like trying to establish a connection gets worse. It gets harder,
Hmm.
right? And like I'm testing with people in my city, and it's like difficult. Sometimes the match, like to establish a match, takes multiple tries because they'll say failed to connect. Like when we tried to connect, right?
Yeah.
It like failed multiple times.
Yeah, it took us like we got 2 or 3 matches, I think, Killy, in the span
Yeah,
of like 30 minutes or something. It was insane. Like of just nonstop trying to do it. But I mean, we can't. I'm gonna I'm gonna say it's not
you
gonna be like
tried
that when
just
the game comes out. Hopefully, like
like you just tried on day one. So day
right.
one was the worst day.
Yeah.
So like there was a lot of connection errors, trying to connect to the servers, blue screens, right? So
Right.
the app would close or whatever. So
Yeah.
they had to do emergency maintenance
Yeah.
shortly afterwards. But like I'd say in a half hour, maybe an hour of when they started doing maintenance, the servers were back up and was a little bit better. Like
Yeah.
you could actually consistently connect to the servers, but getting the connection established to other players was kind of like hit and miss
Right.
still.
And I think like I'm not concerned about the servers crashing and all that because that's whatever. It's a
It's
beta.
just a
That's what they're
beta.
trying to work. That's what they're trying to work on in the first place. My concern is that even if this worked perfectly as it's intended to, it's still bad. The lobby system,
Oh, the
right?
lobby
That's
system's
my beef.
awful. It's
Like
awful.
they're gonna get so much feedback on this because there's a survey for this and
Yeah.
everyone is talking about this lobby system. Like everyone does not like it. It's crazy, man. And I mean, I can see the charm of it, but I think players should have a choice. They should just be able to search a match without going into this, jumping through all these hoops. Or if they want to have like this community section, right, or
Yeah.
or guilds or whatever, right, where people can hang out and chat and stuff, I think that should be an option too. But I think the way that Arxis has done it before with DBZ or whatever, I think it works fine, right?
I mean, it's okay. In the other games, it's okay.
You're still jumping through hoops. You're still
Yeah.
jumping through hoops, right? No one likes to jump through hoops. People just want to start the game and play, right? But
Yeah.
there are some things I do like. Like I love how it shows the news and what's going on. That's something I always
Yeah.
wanted in fighting games. Like, just show the damn news. Like, get the community together. Like, that's great, but there are ways to do it without this. No hotel style way.
Like some of the worst parts is like it doesn't show the pings or the connection ratings to the
Yeah,
other
there's
players.
features missing. It doesn't show that, like, when you connect to somebody, it shows like level whatever, because like they don't have the level system in yet, but they don't show the ping, they don't show the region, and or yeah, well, I guess it doesn't matter if the region they choose, but it should still show the ping, and you can't rematch your player, and it's first to one.
And you don't even see the frame delay
Yeah, and the frame
in the
delay.
match. In the match,
In the
right?
match, right? So there's a lot of concerns there because you're like I said, jumping through all these hoops, and then you finally place on that legs, and that, oh man, like I know they're implementing rollback netcode, but kill it, I'm telling you, man, if they release the game in this state with this kind of delay based netcode, oh my god, dude, it would be a wash. I had so many unplayable matches, like I'm talking a full 2 seconds of delay on some of my matches that are that bad.
Yeah, I mean, people were like hopping into other regions as well because like when the room got too filled, it was hard to even connect to people, right?
Right?
So it's like, oh, meet me in this region in this floor because there's less people here.
Yeah. And like even when you and me played, the connection was better, but it still had its like
It
weird
had
spikes.
spikes.
Yeah, like
But I mean
randomly.
that could have been for multiple reasons though.
Yeah,
Like maybe my internet connection was
yeah.
acting up, or maybe my Ethernet cable was no good or something like that. But
I don't want
it's
to.
just weird. It's just weird that we
Yeah,
had spikes.
I don't want to criticize the delay base too much because we know they're not using it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's kind of like, man, they really dodged the bullet here.
Yeah.
They did not listen to this feedback. They really dodged a bullet because the lobby on top of this netcode, oh, just would have been an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster, man.
Yeah.
Oh, so anything else you want to talk about this lobby system? I think we pretty much
I think
criticized it
we
in every way we could.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the major criticisms I have for it.
Yeah, people just don't. People want to play longer. People want more information. People want to play their matches faster, and yeah, I mean, like the whole people piling on and you can't choose who you play and all that. It's very clunky, very clunky. They definitely need to take a look at it. Definitely need to take a look. Okay, so let's talk about the gameplay now, Kelly. So now I can actually join in on the conversation with you on this because I played the game too now, so I can kind of
Mhm.
talk about it now. So what do you want to like? What they definitely changed some things, by the way, because I was looking at some old footage on
Yeah.
some combos because I learned chip first, and there's a lot of things they changed like with moves and with the combos and stuff. So it was kind of weird for me. Like for example, a chip when he does his alpha blade, right? Either up or down, he doesn't crisscross anymore. You can't like
Yeah,
cancel it into itself.
he had a follow-up on his
Right.
alpha play.
They
They
got rid
got
of
rid of
that.
it. Yeah.
Right. And like last time I played Chip, he lost his teleports and stuff, but we already knew that with Strive. So it was definitely different. And I had a lot of fun playing Chip. Like, what do you notice any differences from the last time you played it?
Obviously the air dash thing that we saw in the
Yeah.
Evo Japan build and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it felt like they relaxed the combo restrictions just a little bit.
Mm.
And then the wall mechanics were felt a little bit different.
And you said the speed was different too, right? The overall
The
speed of the game.
speed was like faster. Like the flow of the
Mm.
game was like faster because
Okay.
of all these changes like compacted on each other.
Right. Right. So, what do you want to talk about first? Like, do you want to talk about the things that we don't like about the new gameplay, or
Yeah, let's start off with that.
okay? What do you want to start off with? What do you want to talk about first?
Okay, the Gatling system
Hmm.
being the way it is still bugs me.
Right.
Um, I don't like the explanation of it being easier
Yeah.
because it feels counterintuitive. You think an ascending chain of like punch kick slash heavy
Right.
dust is intuitive in itself,
Right.
right? It's just ascending order.
Yes.
But not being able to do that, it feels very awkward still.
Yeah. It does.
From a pressure or frame trap game, it doesn't change. Like I would do my pressure, it kind of like is similar to what I would do in Xrd with
Yes.
some minor changes. Like
Right.
if I'm frame trapping, I'm doing the similar thing. I'm gonna go punch punch because 2P because I'm at frame advantage, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna frame trap with like close slash. Even
Okay.
though it doesn't necessarily Gatling, I'm gonna do it as a non-Gatling because I'm frame trapping at that point.
Right.
That still remains the same. but it's just like when I land the hit, I instinctively want to Gatling into like close slash or heavy slash, and I
Right.
can't do that, and it's
Hmm.
really annoying. So it's like that bugs me still. And the lack of Gatlings in the air. So if I go to like airy air and I do Kai's jump kick, I can't Gatling into jump S,
Yeah.
and then they just fall out. And it's like really annoying because I air to air them. I'm like, let me convert off of this because I was right in the air to air in the neutral exchange here,
Right.
and
Even
it kind of
the jump cancels feel a little limited too within the Gatlings, you know?
yes, yes,
So it's awkward, man. And yeah, in case you guys don't know what we're talking about, like when we say Gatling, we're talking about the game's like chain system, like how you go button to button, basically. Like you know how Marvel you go like lights into
like medium
mediums.
heavy, right?
Yeah,
That kind
that's like
of
Gatling
similar
system in Guilty Gear. So like what they did is they made it so that it's very specific what you can go into. So you can go into like punch and kick, go into like a command normal, for example. And kick for at least for chip, kick can go into crouching dust or
yeah.
to
Every
dust.
character can go like 2K 2D, no
Yeah,
problem, right?
but you can't
But
go
you can't
punch D. It's
yeah,
weird.
you can't go punch into D, and so you have to link it to your kick in order to
Right,
Gatling into 2D afterwards or whatever. Which is like, why? Why have that kind of restriction?
right.
So instead, so instead you can go like 2P, 2P, 6P, special cancel or something like that.
Yeah,
And
and then
it's
you can't
like,
go punch or kick into slash, but you can go
yeah,
slash into heavy slash, and you can go
yeah,
slash into crouching slash, into down heavy slash. Two H, and it's like yeah, like it would be so much. I don't understand how this makes it more accessible because anyone who's played like Marvel or any basic like anime game fighter always knows weaker buttons go into heavier buttons, but not backwards. It would have
yeah,
been the Gatling system was never complicated with Guilty Gear in the first place. The only thing that made it even remotely complicated was the fact that there were some character specific ones, right, where they can go backwards or
yeah,
whatever. All they had to do was just universal it, like make it universal. Just lights go into heavies. That's it. That's all they had to do, right? And then keep everything intact. I don't think anyone would have complained. So,
exactly. So
so
it's like it's so restrictive. So my only explanation for this, I know they said it was kind of for like to make it easier,
yeah.
but my only other explanation for a change like that is because the damage output is too high. So you
Mm,
don't want high reward off of mashing or like abre, right?
yeah.
You don't want someone like mashing 2P and then he gets like 2P close slash whatever full combo with the damage output that's currently in GG Strat.
Right.
Like it's just like too insane at that point. But
Right.
you can easily change that by just lowering the damage output.
Right.
I don't
Exactly.
see that problem.
There's an easy solution. Right.
And like even then, even if they're mashing, these guys are mashing like Soul's so OP in this beta. It's like ridiculous. But I'll get into that later. But
Okay.
like Soul's gonna mash like close slash anyways, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so good. And if he counter hits you, it's like goodbye 60%. So,
Yeah.
so it's like the problem of like high reward off of mashing is still present,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like, and I feel more restricted to it, Killy, because like I'm trying to press the right buttons, but I can't convert when I do get the right button. Like if I want to use a quick attack, my conversion is so small.
Yeah,
And it's clunky. Or if let's say I land a counter with a slash, right? It's very limited what I can go into if I don't have RC at that point. You know.
yeah,
So if someone's just randomly spamming slash or heavy slash, it's super annoying because you'll get banded into the corner and then you take like 60% wall splatted by soul.
yeah. It's like all the damage is like front loaded in the corner, and then
Yeah.
mid screen like you don't get a whole lot unless you RC or whatever.
Right. So okay, so the damage output is definitely too high. We don't even need to really explain it too much. I mean, it's another thing too is that the gut system doesn't really work too well when the damage is this high, Killy, because it can't kick in fast enough.
Yeah, it's like you sometimes you can kill them before their guts kick in, but
Especially
when
when
the
I'm
gut
playing chip, I get
oh,
command grab by soul or Potemkin, I'm losing half my health, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
like
guts is
let's
not kicking in.
like the damage output being so high bugs me quite a bit because it's like it focuses it lowers the skill ceiling of the game, and so it
Mm,
focuses on like instead of having multiple interactions in neutral and stuff like that, and like converting off of those interactions, it's like you lose one interaction and then that's 60%. You lose the next interaction, you're dead.
Right.
Like
It's very Street
what?
Fighter like.
Like why is that a good thing? Like it's just really annoying. Like it just feels so arbitrary at that point.
Mm.
And like it's just really like it's dumb to see Chip die in 2 pot busters.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a clip of Zen streaming and he's using Chip.
Yeah.
He got pot bustered twice and he died. And
Yeah.
Zen's like, "What is this game? I just got pot bustered twice and I'm dead."
You
Right?
guessed
Like
wrong twice, bro.
it's like what the heck? Like it just doesn't make sense. Like the
Yeah.
damage output being the way it is, it just feels pretty bad. Like yeah, like sure it's kind of empowering when you kill like when you do like a 60% damage combo or whatever like that. But like after a while you're like doing the same thing over and over and it just kind of gets tiresome and it feels bad when matches just end that quickly.
Yeah, like there is stuff in like even in Xar, there's touch of deck combos and there's way I mean Woshige. But
Yeah.
like that's very specific and you're getting hit by something very specific, you know? Like for that to
There's
happen.
execution behind it and stuff like that and
Yeah.
like combo routing. Like combo routing is really important in older Guilty Gears because there's like character specifics, there's combo theory. Like there's ways to do it. It allows for a very free form uh combos, right?
Yeah.
Like being able to ad lib off of stray hits and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I still feel that is present in Strive. Like there's still ways to route it in
Yeah.
certain ways, but it's a lot more restrictive than what I would like from it. So it's like really it bugs me. It definitely bugs me.
What about the anti-airs, man? Like I the 6P not being able to jump cancel or go into anything, does that bug you? Like it bugged me when I was playing Chip.
It depends on your character, but some characters like Kai can still convert into good damage off of 6P counter hit.
Oh.
They just it looks like they're sliding too far away, but the untech time is so huge that he actually can just run and OTG.
Maybe I could do that with Chip. I just didn't realize it. Can you use 2H with Kai to
Yep,
anti-air?
yep,
Yeah, you can.
yep.
Okay.
Oh, 2H is so good.
Damn.
Kai buttons feel really good in
I
general.
wonder if Chip I could have used 2H too. I didn't think about that. So much more testing. They didn't have training mode, guys. Just so you know, we were forced to play against either the CPU or players.
Like
Uh,
the one thing I did like about the combo system is the way OTGs work. Like OTGs felt pretty nice because you can convert off of like OTGs, right? Before in Guilty
yeah,
Gear, OTG they like tech out
right.
really fast,
And there was
right?
scaling on it too, so it didn't do too much
Yeah,
damage.
so it did like very little damage, but there's like
Hmm.
no scaling off of OTGs, so you get some really nice OTG combos in this game, and those
Hmm.
felt pretty good. Like essentially, like the corner combos are very free form. Like you
Yeah,
can do like almost whatever you want
right.
in the corner, and which is why I think they have the wall splat mechanic, right? Just
Hmm.
to kind of control how crazy corner combos can be.
I see. That's the thing. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I don't like that though. Like the wall splat. Like I don't like the idea that I can't do corner calls because the wall splat's gonna activate. Like I don't like that. But
What I don't like is like it's like the walls have like health or HP, right?
yeah,
And I
good way
feel
to put
like
it.
if and like what I've seen happen is like someone does a corner combo and they don't wall splat, right? And then they go for Oki or something like that. Maybe they fail their Oki and they get countered or whatever, and and the positions get switched.
Yeah.
The wall damage carried over, and so the person that was on the defense is now the aggressor. He lands his combo, but like the wall splat happens so fast because the residual damage is still there
Right.
for player
Right.
one. So it's like, why does he get punished in that scenario? Right?
um.
He can't maximize his damage because there was some residual damage from the first combo.
Right. Right. Exactly. And then
So
it returns back to neutral, which would be bad for some characters. And then you do get a attention bonus after you do it, but it still returns to neutral.
the other part is like the when you return to neutral in that scenario after the stage transition, it's not immediately clear on when both players can act, right? So it's like it interrupts the flow of the match.
Mm,
And the same thing with like guard cancel, Roman cancel. So like it takes too long to figure out when both players can act again.
right. I don't like the wall splat system in general. Like and it's kind of scrubby too because like I said, you get randomly hit by people mashing it and it just converts into so much damage. Because anything works. Like people are literally just doing their heaviest attack like 3 or 4 times in a row, whether it's like May right?
Yeah.
Or Saul's, right? The what is that? The slam dunk move like over and
Edit
over.
bringer. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just like it doesn't look good from a spectator's perspective either, right? Or from a
Yeah.
player's perspective, or even even the chip with 6H, and it's like I just it would have been better if they just had it like how Dust used to have a second version that puts up against the wall like a splat.
Yeah.
It would have been
Yeah.
better if it was like that. Like if it was a counter hit that caused like I like the stage transitions. That's nice. I just don't like how common and easy it is to do, where there's just anything. I guess might be it.
So there's some fine tweaking they have to do there. There's issues with it for sure.
Right. So let's see here. So like I said, I so far with the accessibility, them making the game more accessible, I don't really see it like right now. I don't see how they're making the game easier. I see them taking things out, but it's making the game clunky because of it. Like you understand that like, hey, these mechanics are in the game for a reason. You know, I
Yeah.
think like right now they need to relook at this Gatling system. They need to relook at the wall splat, the damage. Obviously, they need to look at, and combo wise, everything seemed universal, which was nice. Um,
The air dash is kind of interesting because you can if you hit a button immediately out of the air dash, you like fall faster, right?
yeah.
People figured out you can actually faultless defense right after the air dash,
Uh huh.
then you fall faster. So you
Okay.
can do like mix-ups where you air dash, FD, and then either hit a button on the way down to go for the high, or you do like something that whiffs, right? So you're like flawless defense, whiff a button, you land it instantly, go for a low.
Yeah, I saw with Kai some clips where Kai was like dashing in, FDing, and then he goes for a throw. Like he's close. Like he gets down fast.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
then
another thing that I like about the game. Were we gonna mention something?
you can also like do cross ups with it too. Like Faust has some cross up setups with it, with that whole system. So it's actually pretty interesting.
Right.
But my gripe right now is like it's really hard to anti-air that because it comes out so fast. Uh,
Mm.
so like I feel like the purpose was because it has slower startup on the air dash, you're supposed to stop it there. But if I go air to air, I can't like really juggle from there. So my risk reward is skewed there.
Mm.
I don't get good reward if I like stop their air dash during the startup.
Right. I
If
see what
I
you're
go air
saying.
to air on them, right? So then it's hard to anti-air, so I don't want to try to stop the air dash with my anti-air buttons.
Right. Right.
So it's like risk reward is skewed there.
I like that they added like dust being throw. For some reason, I like just having control over whether I throw or not in this game. Like I
Oh,
like
dude,
just
that bugged me because muscle memory. I'm trying to throw S with 6/heavy
yeah.
at the same time, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh right, this isn't throw.
Right, right. And but one thing I noticed, Billy, like when I'm throwing people a lot, when I knock them down, there seems to be some kind of throw invincibility when they're getting up, like a
Yeah,
couple
that
of
always
seconds.
existed. That always existed in older Guilty Gear games.
Yeah, and when we were playing, I noticed we did a tech throw on each other, which was cool.
Yeah,
So I like because me coming from a Street Fighter background, right? It was like much more intuitive from my perspective. I'm like, okay, I got to throw one, with dust. So yeah, okay. Are we finally gonna talk about the UI now?
yes. The UI bugs me.
Okay.
It is an improvement
Yeah.
previously. Like I do like some of the visual aesthetics, like the way the clock is designed and stuff like that, the
Yeah.
tension meters design. Those feel Guilty Gear to me.
Okay.
The UI, the health bars, and the heart system does not feel like Guilty Gear to me from a visual standpoint.
Okay.
So that bugs me. But then you have the portrait, the burst icon, the wrist
Yes.
gauge. They're all really tiny. And then it
Yes.
follows the health gauge as it depletes because they're like, we wanted a one-stop shop for all this information so it's easy to keep track of. It feels the opposite because
Yes.
you have to follow it. First of all, you have to find it relative to their health meter. You now have to follow it as their health depletes. So, like, say you're trying to see if their burst is about to come back. First of all, the burst icon's too small,
Hmm.
so it's like hard to tell if they're going to get their burst back.
Yeah.
And then as you're comboing them, you're keeping an eye on that burst gauge. You have to follow it as it depletes with the health meter, and so it's like counterintuitive.
Hmm.
and the risk meter is still too small. Like it's an improvement over the last time they had the risk meter, but it's still too small.
Yeah, it's like a hairline, and
It's
it's really hard because the risk gauge is important too. Like if I'm doing block strings on my opponent, I need to constantly like look up and see where it is now because his health is changing, right? And you need to burst bait. You need to look at your own burst, and the location of your risk and burst is different as well dynamically during the match. So it's I've seen so many funny memes on it, killing with people looking left and right. On the UI. So it's like, oh man. So aesthetically it has some issues and competitively,
functionality.
yeah,
Function
functionality it has issues. So damn man, they need to go back on the drawing board on this again
like
too.
it's just like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel here? There's nothing wrong with it. Like statically placing your meters and making it big so it's not only visually dynamic but easy to see for the competitors and the spectators. There was nothing wrong with that. I
Hmm.
don't understand why they felt like there was an issue with this,
Yeah.
and both from a spectator and competitor standpoint, and that it needed to be changed.
Hmm.
It's actually counterintuitive. I feel like it's the opposite of what they're trying to achieve here.
Okay, let's talk about the on-screen display now. The counter, the combo counter,
Oh god, yeah, I completely forgot about this.
and
Yeah,
the positive when you get the wall splat. And what
there's the
else is there on the
transition.
screen? I can't. There's so much
Okay,
stuff on the screen.
okay. So let's start with the camera angle changing on specific counter hits. So there's counter hits that causes zoom in on the
Yeah.
camera, right? But the camera goes wonky sometimes, and like the zoom in becomes actually jarring, and you like drop your combo because you're like the perspective changes, and you're like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? Right? It's like, how am I supposed to continue this combo? You like zoomed in on a section now, and I can't concentrate because it's like I've lost my sense of perception of where my characters are.
Right.
Right? And it's like, no, it's not helping in making the hit confirm easier. It's actually making it harder.
Hmm.
Right? There's nothing wrong with just making like the hits done really large or the untech time large. Like that's easy to like convert off of.
Hmm.
But you like zoom in so close and you change the perspective and stuff, and it's like what's going on, and then you completely like drop your combo. Like obviously you can get used to it the more you play, but like the transition phase for it, like it's an issue.
Now, what about the giant numbers and letters?
Or like like this thing doesn't make sense.
One
First of all,
eight,
yeah,
one
you get an
seven,
18 hit combo and it's like 1-8, and you're like, what? What happens when you hit triple digits here? Or
one
like
one eight. I don't know. The game freezes probably because it won't fit it on the screen. It has to zoom out. It has to
like
zoom out.
it occupies like 90% of the screen when that
No
happens, and
exaggeration. No exaggeration. 90%.
it's just like, are you think we're blind or something? Like,
They
do
said
you think we
visual
expect that?
clarity, Killy. That's the reason they did it. Visual clarity. I
Like,
don't
it's so dumb. Why would you occupy 90% of the screen for your combo counter? It's
know.
so stupid. It's so intrusive.
Mhm.
That's the problem. It's so intrusive.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of changes with this game, man. Like now that I'm finally getting my hands on it, there's a lot of changes. It's interesting. I just don't see where the accessibility comes in. I just don't see it, Killy. Like, where is it? Where is
like,
it coming? All I'm
like the
seeing is
direction.
pissing people off. Like,
The direction is very awkward right now. I don't know where they're trying to go with this. I feel
yeah,
there's a lot of changes that need to be. It's a very different game.
yeah, man, it is.
It's a very different Guilty Gear. So it's like I don't know where they're going with this.
They're gonna get a lot of feedback, and there's gonna be this game's gonna. I'm guarantee you, it's gonna be a way different than it is now when it finally released. They're gonna change a bunch of. They just have to. There's just too much feedback, man. You know, like people are really like breaking this down. You know.
Yeah, it just I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know, Killer. I know.
Like I'm not saying I didn't have fun with
I
the
had
game. Like I
fun.
had fun. I had fun.
Right.
There's a lot of fun. It was enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
Playing the game. But when you have like a Guilty Gear background, it's just um it's very different, and like some of the changes are very questionable because
Yes.
it's like removing a lot of the core aspects and the core mechanics that make up Guilty Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sort of okay with the way FD and IB are at the moment. Like, I still would prefer IB to act the way it did before because there's a level of interaction there,
What's the
but
point
it's
of doing it now?
build meter.
Oh, build me. Okay.
But you build lots of meat. Like, you get so much meter in this game
Yeah,
as it.
you do.
So I'd still like to see IB do something more, but I don't know.
The no air recovery wasn't as jarring as I thought it would
It's
be.
not as bad. It's like the no tech, the no air tech, and the no
Yeah, it wasn't
techs.
that bad.
It's not bad, and the OTG system is nice. Like there's fun stuff in
Yeah.
there, but there's a lot of questionable decisions.
I think if they look at those three things, the Gatling, the damage, and the wall splat, like, I think if they just ease up on it a little bit, I think it would be a much better spot than it is now. Then they
Yeah,
gotta look at the UI again, put that under control, then look at the lobby system again, and then we're good. We're good.
like honestly, given all that and given the COVID-19 situation, I feel like they really need to delay the release of this game.
Well, when is it released?
Especially, I think it was supposed to be fall 2020.
Fall.
Yeah,
So like 6 months.
I guess so. So
That's a lot of time though. Six
I don't
months.
know, man.
You
'Cause
know?
then they just announced that they're implementing rollback. So like you want
Oh
to make
right.
sure that they do the rollback code correctly, right? So they need time with that to develop that.
Yeah,
Then they
you're
need
right.
time to like I want them to actually go and readjust the fine tune the gameplay mechanics. They're still making characters, right? So obviously they still have to fine tune the characters and stuff like that, the character balance, all those things, and whatever else they plan to include in the console release. Like maybe they're gonna do a story mode, like they did with Xrd, right? So they have
Right.
to do all the voice recordings, the scripts, all of that, and then you have to animate all of that. So like, there's a ton of other things that they probably have to include with the game that we're not aware of, and we're only seeing like a fraction of the cast
Yeah,
being
man.
so far. So it
Damn, you're
feels like
right.
there's so much they have to do, and with the COVID-19 situation delaying development, stuff like that, like, I don't know whether it's delaying their development. I'm assuming it is because Japan's in a state of national emergency right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like they really need to delay the release of the game so that they have enough time to do
I would
all of
be
these.
happy if they delayed it. And
I
it's
want
good
them
that
to
they
delay
got
it.
the feedback this early to know if they need to delay it. I just think like if it fall just sounds like that's the end of their like fiscal report for 2020. So like
Yeah.
for them to delay it means it has to come out in 21, and that might screw over their schedule with whatever fighting games are coming out next year. So
But, like, we're in a situation now where we don't even know if there's gonna be, like, any tournaments this year.
right, right. It's a
COVID-19 situation
very
is so volatile right
yeah, it's a
now.
very rare situation. So you're
It's
right. That's
so
true.
so unprecedented, like, I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure the tournament season is, like, donezo this season, like, I don't
Hmm.
think gonna be happening this year,
They can't
like
even like release trailers properly, right? Because there's no events to do it. So it's completely messed up right now. The marketing and everything.
yeah. So I feel like it is perfectly acceptable if they have to delay the game.
Hmm. Yeah, man.
Like,
Well,
spend more time on development and fine tune it.
hmm well, I'm definitely gonna keep track of this game, Kelly. It's been quite the adventure. That was a very interesting beta test I had with this game.
It was a wild one. I mean, the beta is like whatever. I expected issues.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
no matter how bad this beta went, it was nowhere near as bad as SF5's
I was just
first.
gonna say that. I'm like, it still went better than Street Fighter 5 because at least we found matches eventually.
At least we were able to connect.
Yeah.
You remember day one of that beta?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I
you,
remember.
me, and Qua were like 8 hours of streaming of mashing on Connect
It
and
was one of
getting
my
50.
first streams too, man. Oh, so godlike. It's brutal. Yeah,
Like,
that was rough. But no, like all
nothing,
the
nothing
criticism that
happened.
we had was basically just when things work, like how the game is. So
Yeah.
not really about
So,
that.
like, as negative as we sound, I still had fun with the gameplay. I just felt like there were things that can be improved upon.
Yeah, it could be so much better. It could be so much better. It's way more important we talk about we criticize it than just say, hey, the game looks good. The game looks so good. Like you can only say
Yeah.
that so many times. All right, Killy. Till next beta test or announcement or whatever, we'll keep you
Till
guys.
next rant.
Yeah, till next rant. No, that was good, man. Like I said, I'm just happy I'm able to play the game now. So I can
Yeah.
talk to you about it. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments below if you guys checked out that beta test for Guilty Gear. It should still be going on right now, actually, by the time I release this video. Let us know the feedback on what you guys think about the UI, the gameplay, the lobby system, and what they could do to improve it. And should they delay the game in its current state? And yeah, we'll go from there, man. Okay. All right, guys.
Even when the lobbies are done, you can still experience the lobbies and have a hotel.
Yes. And stay on floor 1, guys. It's safer there. Okay.
Okay, see ya.
Take care, guys. Peace.